Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this particular video, we'll be looking into a detailed strategy on placement preparation for aptitude section, along with all the sure shot topics that will be asked inside the aptitude section. So let's start with all the important topics as well as sure shot topics which will be asked for sure in the aptitude section. The first is the quantitative aptitude. This has the highest weightage and this is the toughest part of the entire aptitude section. Next, in the reasoning section, we have first reasoning section as visual reasoning. Lot of questions are asked on visual based reasoning. Next is the logical reasoning. Here you need to apply logic and then find the answer. The next section is the easiest section of the entire aptitude section, which is called as verbal section. Now this is easy only when you have good grammar and vocabulary skills. The next topic is data interpretation. This is a mathematical topic which includes some of the quantitative based concepts. Now the next topic is the game based section. This particular topic is optional because only few companies have this section as a section in their aptitude test. Companies like Capgemini and IBM ask this as a section in their aptitude test. Apart from this, the first 5 sections are the most important topics which are actually asked widely inside the entire aptitude test, and this covers almost 99% of the entire aptitude test. So you should never think of skipping any one of these topics. So now let's dive into each and every section and see what all important topics are there in each section, starting with the quantitative aptitude. The first is you should be clear with all the basics. When it comes to maths, you should have a proper understanding of these 4 operations, that is addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. You should have a basic understanding of solving equations as well as other concepts like finding percentage and all. So your basics must be very much clear because these basics are going to help you to solve complex problems, which are nothing but the next topics in this particular quantitative section. So refresh and clear all your basics. Now once you are done with the basics, you should start with the number system. Now number system is all about the concepts like surds, LCM, HCF and remainder theory. There are other concepts also, but out of those, these 3 concepts are very much important. There can be a lot of questions that can be asked based on remainder theory, so have a look at all the short tricks that can be used to solve it in the least possible time. The next topic which is widely asked in the quantitative section is speed and work. So in this, the most popular problems of boats and streams will be asked. Here you will be asked to compute the speed of the boat based on the certain scenario that will be given in the question. Then the time and work, which is nothing but the question in which they will ask that how much time it will take for a worker to complete the construction of something based on certain scenario. And then the next section is the tap and tank section, in which you will be asked certain questions like how much time it will take to fill the entire container based on a certain scenario. So I hope this section is clear. Next we have the statistics section. Now in this, all the statistical concepts will be asked. For example, compute the mean, median, mode of a particular graph or the data that is given to you. Then they will also ask you to find out the variance, deviation and range. Now these are straightforward questions based on straightforward formula. So do not even try to think of skipping those topics. The next topic is classical banking. In this, the questions like ratio proportions will be asked based on certain transactional data. Then profit loss question will be asked. So you should be thorough with all the formula related to profit and loss computation. Next is the simple and compound interest topic, which is widely asked. Again, it is formula based and there might be certain questions which includes the combination of both these topics, that is ratio as well as simple and compound interest. Or it might be a combination of ratio as well as profit loss. So you should be thorough with all these 3 topics. The next section under quantitative aptitude is the algebra section, in which The topics like logarithm, probability, permutation combinations are widely asked. So you should be thorough with all the properties of logarithm, the simplification related to it, as well as you should also solve some problems based on probability. Question may be asked based on the types of probabilities as well as on sampling also. So practice those questions. And the next topic is permutation and combination. Here also you should be clear with all the formulas. Permutation combination topic includes certain tricky questions, so have a look at it also. The next section is the geometry section. In this, the topics like finding the area, volume or perimeter is widely asked. So again, there are a lot of formulas for finding the perimeter, area as well as volume of many figures. So you should be thorough with all the formulas, as well as sometimes questions based on trigonometry will be asked. So have a basic idea of it also. So these are the certain topics, or I would say the most important and widely asked topics inside the quantitative section. You should never think of skipping these topics. Practice well and ace in quantitative section. So now let's have a look at another section inside the aptitude, which is visual reasoning. Let's have a look at all the important and widely asked topics in this particular section, that is visual reasoning. So the first is the abstract reasoning. And the second topic is inductive reasoning. So both these topics, abstract and inductive reasoning, consist of similar kind of questions which ask us to complete the figure. So questions like a grid will be given to you, and in that grid certain figures will be given. One blank space will be present in that particular grid, and you will be asked to predict what kind of figure will be best suited from the following options. So these might look easy, but yes, it requires certain thinking also. So therefore practice well these topics. The next topic is visual analogy. This consists of certain analogy problems of identifying the relationships among the figures. So basically you will be asked to identify the analogous figure from the following options based on the question figure. Again, these questions are widely asked. The next topic is water and mirror image problems. So these are simple problems where a figure will be given to you and you will be asked that what will be the water image or the mirror image of the following figure. These kind of questions test your imagination power. The next topic is little tough. It is spatial reasoning. It includes certain problems like unfolded cube will be given to you, and you will be asked that after folding it to a proper shape or cube, how that particular cube will look like. As well as the questions like rotations of figure will be asked to you. If a particular figure is rotated at a particular angle, then what will be the orientation of it and how it will look like. Certain questions will be asked. Now, the next topic is embedded figures. Here, you will be asked to identify the patterns inside the figures. For example, a small portion of the entire figure will be given you in the question, and the following option will include the complete figure, and you will be asked from which of the following figures that particular small portion is actually extracted. So similar type of questions will come under this, and this is what the visual reasoning section includes. So I hope it is clear to you all. Now we'll move on to the next section of the aptitude, which is logical reasoning. So let's have a look at all the short topics that comes under this particular section. First is the series topic. Here the questions like number series, letter series or word series will be given to you, and you will be asked to predict what will come next. So let's say a particular series of numbers is given to you and it follows a certain pattern. So you will be asked to identify that pattern and predict what will be the next number that will appear in the particular series. Similarly, the next topic is statements. Here, questions like statement reasoning will be asked to you. That means a particular scenario will be given to you, and based on that, two statements will be given to you, and you will be asked whether both these statements are true, or any one of them is true, or both are false. Similarly, data sufficiency kind of questions will be asked, where a particular scenario will be given to you, and based on that you will be asked whether the data is sufficient to find out the conclusion. So I hope this topic is clear. Now the next topic that comes under the logical reasoning is the analytical reasoning. It includes topics like data arrangements, ranking and order. You will be asked to arrange data in a particular manner, or you will be asked based on the arrangement given what will be the ranking as well as order of a particular candidate or an entity. So this is how the questions will be framed and will be asked. The next topic is classical reasoning. Now under this classical reasoning, certain topics like direction, blood relations, syllogism and coding and decoding kind of questions will be asked. So direction based questions, for example, if two person A and B are facing to each other, A is facing to north, then what will be the direction to which B is facing? Now this is very simple question, this will not be asked, but certain kind of questions with some complexity added into it will be asked. The next topic is blood relations. Questions like, let's say A is the daughter of B and B is the daughter of C, then what is the relation A is having with C? Certain chain like questions will be asked. The next topic is syllogism. Here certain statements will be given to you and you will be asked whether the conclusion from those statements are true or not. So a short trick to solve these kind of questions is by using Venn diagrams. And the next topic is coding decoding questions. So basically the code of a word will be given to you and you will be asked to find out the code of the next word that is given in the question. So certain questions will be asked under this topic. So I hope the entire logical reasoning section is clear to you all. Now we will move on to the next section, which is the verbal section. Now verbal section is the easiest section in the entire aptitude section, provided that you have a good vocabulary skills as well as good grammar skills. So you should be thorough with grammar. And inside grammar, you should be thorough with the topics like articles, tenses, parts of speech, subject verb agreement, and so on. So in articles, you should be thorough with all the three articles, that is a and the, as well as you should also be thorough with all the exceptions where certain articles will not be used. You should be ready with all the tenses as well as their types. In certain questions, it will be asked to identify the type of tense in a particular given statement. Next topic is parts of speech. You should be ready with all 8 parts of speech, because any part of speech will be asked in a particular question, straightforward, or it will be asked in a combined way with some other question. The next topic is subject verb agreement. You should be thorough with this also. So these are few topics in grammar which you should practice a lot. The next topic is sentence and word completion. So basically you will be asked to fill the blanks given. You will be given a statement and in that statement you will be asked to fill that particular space with some word. So here you should have good vocabulary skills, because a lot of confusing words will be asked in the options. The next topic is long comprehensions. So this is the topic where you will be investing a lot of time, because long paragraphs will be given to you and based on those paragraphs certain questions will be asked. For example, certain set of statements will be given and you will be asked to arrange them according to the order in which they took place in the comprehension. Next, certain statements or questions like finding appropriate among the following options, as well as you will be asked to solve the jumbles. So certain questions will be asked in this section. The next topic is vocabulary. So vocabulary is a kind of topic where there are no short tricks for it. It totally depends on your daily practice. It includes synonyms, antonyms, and the context of the statement or words. So yes, I can say that it depends on your luck to get a familiar word as a part of the question. But I would insist you to read a lot of articles as well as current affairs to have a good pace at vocabulary. The next topic is narration. So inside narration, certain kind of topics like voice, speech and error spotting will be asked. You will be given a statement, for example, he writes a letter. You will be asked to change the voice to passive voice. Then you should be able to do that. Next is speech. Here you should have a good pace at indirect and direct speech. Next is spotting the errors. You will be given a statement which will be in the form of a particular speech and you will be asked to spot the error. So these are all the important and widely asked topics under the verbal section. Now let's move on to the next section, which is the data interpretation. This is a mathematical section. It includes some of the concepts of quantitative aptitude. So questions will be based on charts. Charts will be given to you, and the charts can be pie chart, it can be tabular chart, bar chart, or it can be line chart also. So for dealing with such kind of questions, you must be able to read all these charts, and based on these charts, you will be asked to solve certain questions based on percentage, ratio and proportion, and some other quantitative topics. So in short, you can say it is a combination of visual charts with the quantitative aptitude. So I hope this section is clear. You should be thorough with all the topics that comes under this section because it's easy and less complex questions will be asked from this particular topic. So I hope this section is clear. Now let's move on to the next section, which is game-based aptitude. As I already said that only few companies follows this particular section, and they will provide you the requirements in the description. So if they mention this particular topic, then only you should do all this section that are present inside it. So the first topic is equation puzzle. So basically you will be given an equation with some blank spaces inside it, and you will be asked to fill that particular section. Next is motion puzzle. Here you will be given a puzzle of certain grid, and you will be asked how many steps would be required for a particular entity to reach from source to destination. The next topic is inductive reasoning. So here certain figures will be given to you, and you will be asked to choose certain option which fits the best according to the scenario that is provided in the question. Next is the switch puzzle. In this you will be given a list of figures that are provided as an input to this switch, and you will be asked after what kind of rearrangement you will get the desired output. The next topic is based on order questions. So here you will be given a grid of figures, and you will be asked by following which set of rules you will be getting the desired output. So these are certain topics from the game-based aptitude. No doubt they are important, and also they are widely asked. Now we will see certain tips to follow for preparing for the aptitude. So far we have seen all the important topics that are supposed to be done. Now we'll see how to do those and what strategy to follow. So as usual, the major key to success is practice. You should practice regularly. It's not a task that you should do once a week or once a month. Because there are a lot of concepts and short tricks that are supposed to be followed, you should have a practice over it daily. The next strategy is to maintain a separate notebook. Yes, this is the most important thing to do, because in that notebook you can jot down all the formula of each and every topic, the tricks that are supposed to be followed to solve it in a short while, as well as certain kind of problems that are related to that formula as well as tricks must be jotted down there. This will be helpful for LMR, that is last moment revision. Try to use your creativity, highlight the most important tricks and formula. Because if you maintain a separate notebook, at last whenever you are revising, it will be really very helpful for you to have a brief look over all the concepts before you appear for the test. The next strategy is to follow short tricks and tips for every particular topic. Especially for quantitative aptitude, there are a lot of tricks that you can get from this particular website, that is prepinsta.com. Here detailed tricks as well as strategies are given to solve a particular topic, and the same goes for every single topic in the quantitative aptitude. And along with that, you also have YouTube. A lot of playlists and videos are available which consist of many short tricks. So just find it and have a look at it. The next key is the time management. Yes, in aptitude, there is a short duration in which you need to solve many questions. So to achieve the maximum marks, you should manage time. And for doing that, you should have a practice. You should always set a timer for solving any question. This will really help you to manage the time and complete the entire test within the given time. The next key is solving the mock test as well as some sample papers that are already available online. So you can see this particular website, indiabix.com, is the best which I feel present on the entire internet. When it comes to aptitude preparation, it consists of general aptitude, verbal and reasoning, current affairs, interview, engineering, programming, and many things. On the left, you can see that there are a lot of topics, for example, arithmetic aptitude, data interpretation, etc. And under all these sections, there are a lot of topics covered. Detailed solutions are also given. You can also give online test, which gives you a feel that you are attempting the original aptitude test. So you can see under the arithmetic aptitude there are lot of topics available. If I choose one of them, which is profit and loss, I can get this particular page, and here there are a lot of questions that are related to this particular topic. You can choose any one of the option just for practice. Once you choose, you will get whether it is correct or not, and along with it you will get a detailed explanation of how to solve this kind of questions. It also includes various tricks that can be followed to solve certain kind of problems. There is also a discussion forum available over here so that many like-minded people can share their unique way of solving this particular question. Similarly, you have other topics also. Now you can also see online test section. You can just click on it on the left and you can get this particular page. You can see there are a lot of tests available over here. The entire aptitude test along with the parts test also, for example verbal ability, logical reasoning, etc. So for now let's choose online aptitude test. So here you can see a lot of aptitude tests available. You can choose any one of them and start the aptitude test. The test will be of the duration 30 minutes and each test will contain 20 questions. So here you can see our test can be started by just clicking the start test button, and once we click it, the test is started and the timer is scheduled. So it is a very good platform for practicing the online aptitude, which will also improve your time management skills, as well as the tricks that they provide will help you to solve any question in a very short duration. So I hope this particular strategy and the resource that I have provided over here is clear to you all and you will follow it. The last strategy that you should follow is to analyze and learn from the mistake. Don't worry if you commit a mistake, it's for your betterment only. Just try to learn from those mistakes and don't try to commit the same mistake in the next attempt. So this is how step by step you develop yourself and learn to actually tackle a particular situation. So this is the detailed strategy or the tips for preparing the aptitude. If you follow all these strategies thoroughly, then no one can stop you from clearing the aptitude test that any big company takes. Now let's have a look at the order which must be followed for preparing as well as for attempting the test. So there are two sections. First is while preparing. So while preparing, what order we should follow? So first we should always start with the quants and the data interpretation. As I already said that quants, that is the quantitative aptitude, is the toughest section. So you should always start preparing with this particular section. Then you can move on to the reasoning section, which includes logical reasoning, visual reasoning, spatial reasoning, etc. Then finally you can move on to the easiest section, which is verbal section. You can also have your own flow for preparing, but mostly this particular flow is followed. You can also have a practice of all these three sections parallelly, provided you are a little experienced. Now this was the strategy for following the order when you are preparing the aptitude. But when it comes to attempting the aptitude test, then you should follow this particular order. So as I said, quantitative section is the toughest section and it might take a lot of your time while solving the question. So you should always start with verbal and reasoning section first, because these sections does not require much time for you to invest, and once you solve the verbal and reasoning section, then you can move on to the quantitative section or data interpretation section. This particular strategy will save a lot of your time, as well as it will also help you not to score less. Because if you start attempting from the quantitative aptitude section, it will take most of your time and there will be no time left for solving the verbal and reasoning questions, which will be a huge loss. So I hope the order to follow is clear to you all. This order will surely help you to have an efficient way of preparing as well as attempting the aptitude test. So finally we are done with everything. Lastly, I would like to say that aptitude is not just about solving a question correctly. It's about solving a question correctly but with the least possible time. There are a lot of questions to solve, but the duration is very less. So the faster you solve, the more you conquer. Many people take aptitude lightly, but don't forget that this is the first round that is held by any company, and if you do not clear this round, you won't be allowed to appear for the further rounds. So don't take it lightly and practice a lot. And finally, I would like to wish you all the best for your entire preparation journey. So I hope this video was helpful for you all. If you have any doubts or suggestions, then you can straight away put it in the comment section. I'll be very much happy to solve it. Share it with your friends so that they will also get the benefit out of this. And also subscribe to my channel if you like this video. Don't forget to hit the bell icon to get regular notifications. In the upcoming video, I'll cover the technical round preparation strategy also. So hit like, subscribe, follow me on Instagram, and thanks for watching.